Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me. It's Mel here. One thing that is my wish for you is that you know when it is time along your health and wellness journey when you need to be putting things down, even if it's just temporarily. Because I've seen far too many people, too many times, feel as if it can only be an all or nothing situation where you're either doing everything perfectly or you're doing nothing at all. It can be really easy to fall into that trap and feel that overwhelmed by it all that they just give up. But what I encourage you instead to do is just to work out what it is that you can temporarily even just put down, so that way you can focus on a few key things or a couple of top needle movers that can still help you stay empowered and moving forward in some way, shape, or form, rather than just throwing your hands up in the air and just stepping away from it completely and going down the nothing road. It always breaks my heart to see people do that option. And it's often because they haven't recognized earlier on when it was time to put something down, to lighten the load, to reduce the overwhelm. And they wait till they get all the way to the end and bang, they can't do anything. So please, I encourage you, really make sure that you are taking the time to check in with your body, to listen to the signs and the signals and the feedback that it is giving you. That if you are trying to juggle too many things, if there are all of a sudden some changes in your life or some different stresses happening, that are things you're starting to feel the overwhelm, you're starting to feel the signs that things are a little bit too much. Because let's face it, we're all great at coping. We're all great at trying to push things to the absolute max, to keep everything up off the ground for as long as what we can, or just take on that extra little bit of thing to keep the fight going, to stay in the game. We automatically can get into that mindset that we just want to keep going. We've just got to. Okay? But at some point in time, there is a cost to having that mentality and to keep pushing through, juggling everything. Okay? We can only keep doing it for so long before everything comes crashing down. Instead, what I encourage you to do is to really listen to your body for the signs and the signals that things are starting to get a little bit too much, so that you can purposely put a few things down, step away even temporarily, so that way you can really focus on just keeping a few basic things going, keeping those needle movers, still finding a way to manage to support you, your health, your well-being, physically and mentally, before you hit that wall. That you know when you can stop keeping on, and just take a step back, really assess the situation and work out, what is it that you really need to keep doing? Which balls do you really need to keep juggling? And which ones can you put down? Which ones can you just leave there for now and come back to at a later time if needed? What can you just keep doing here that is going to still be honoring? Because remember, health and wellness is something that can support you in your life. It shouldn't be a burden. It should be something that can still empower you to turn up feeling at your best, to help you deal emotionally, to help you physically be able to have some energy in your life, to be able to deal with whatever it is that is going on in your life. So yes, we really want to be keeping going with some basics always. But the thing is that we try and make it perfect. We try and think that we have to do it all in order to do anything, and that is just not the case. There are so many basic things that we can do. I mean, we have to eat regardless. Okay, we have to keep eating. We have to keep having water. We need to keep breathing. These are all basic things that we have to keep doing. So why not, just choose a few things to really focus on that are still going to mean that these tasks that we have to keep doing are still honoring in some way to help supporting us in our lives. It doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be perfect. It doesn't mean that we need to have all of these balls in the air at once, but just sit down, know when it's time to really look at these things before your health starts to really deteriorate, both physically and mentally or emotionally. Know when it's time. Don't keep just pushing it. Don't keep the head in the sand. Really know what your body's signs and signals are that things are starting to get a little bit too much, a little bit too taxing, a little bit too overwhelming, so that you can assess what are the things that you really can keep doing and what are the things that need to just go on the back burner just for a little bit, so that you can keep moving forward, stay empowered in your life and in your health, and keep moving yourself forward in some way, shape, or form. So give it a try. What are the signs and signals? Do you know what they are? Because that's the starting point. What are your signs and signals for when things are starting to get a little overwhelming? Have a think back. Has there been a time before when you just made the all or nothing choice and you stepped away? What were the signs and signals? What was the situation? Okay, go back, learn from these past times so that they can empower you in the future, so that you can have a look and say, are any of those signs and signals here now? Are they present? Is there things that I need to be assessing right now in what I'm doing, that I might need to start stepping back from a few things or working out what my needle movers are right now, that I can just put the energy that I have into just doing these few things? So know what your signs and signals are. So have a think about it. Have a look in your life right now. What are you doing? What are your signs and signals? Make sure that you're on top of it so that you can stay empowered along your health and wellness journey. I hope this has been helpful, and I hope you have an amazing rest of the day.